And when I finished the work on the car thieves, turbo kids as they called them, because they usually stole turbocharged cars, I was offered a consultancy with the then Premier's Department in New South Wales, and it was at the time that the United Nations had been called into Australia to look into a lot of complaints of human rights violations that were being made by Indigenous communities. And the Indigenous community in Australia is the most imprisoned race on earth. Aborigines are the most imprisoned race. And so because of the United Nations attention, there was a drive to reduce adult imprisonment of Aboriginal people. And especially since it wasn't really achieving anything. It was a lot of money to no social good. And so when we looked into it, we found that the quickest route to prison is to go into the care system. And children who've been raised by the state are massively overrepresented in prison populations. And so the brief shaped up to become, well, if you want to reduce the number of people you're sending to jail, then you need to reduce the number of people that you take into the care system. You need to stop the state raising children because it does it very badly. And despite promises that are made periodically ad infinitum about, oh, we'll improve our act, the state still does a really lousy job at raising children. And the message seems to be very clear: we need to look at alternatives, and that was my brief. How do you stop taking so many children into the care system so that you can reduce the number of people who go to prison? And what do you do instead? What are the alternatives that you look at? And so I set out on the road and visited Aboriginal communities and talked to meetings of Aboriginal kids and meetings of Aboriginal mums, because we felt that the strongest link in at least the Australian Aboriginal community was the link between mums and kids. So we looked at that and produced a set of alternatives as to what we could do instead. And various other projects, and then I came to Britain, and it was just before the miscarriages of justice in child protection broke out. And I arrived here, and it was all hitting the headlines: the Sally Clark case, the Angela Canning's case, the Trupti Patel case. And it became very evident that there were pretty serious problems in the British child protection system. Yeah, we knew before that there were problems from Cleveland on, that this was a pretty crazy sort of a system. And so I arrived just at the right time, you know, one of those fortuitous things of just being there when these things were exploding. And so it was a marvellous area to get into and research. Why are these miscarriages of justice happening? What can we do to stop it?